Yeah, I get a little enthusiastic here just to talk about something. I'm almost talking to myself, just going over things to understand what's going on. So let's go to this point. Let's go to the spiritual world without the material world. Without the material world, the spiritual world. Let's go. So if we were there, we would see different forms. We would be able to react in different ways with the Lord and His Leelas and everything like that. So then there becomes a cause for our coming here. Now the Lord, it's not logical that the Lord has manifested. You know, you can't call it a time period when it was manifested, when I was manifested. I'm talking about the soul. You can't talk about when I, the soul, was I manifested. So that is not there. So see in a logical way, the Lord, I've been brought to some, in other words, my soul is here because it was meant to be in Krishna's Leela, Ram's Leela, Vishnu's Leela. Somewhere it was meant to be. I was not able to even do anything wrong, because I was manifested with everybody in perfection. Okay? So I'll be a little gross and everything, but so in that way, here we have the spiritual world. So in the Bhagavatam, it brings the word out Anu. Anu means that which is not able to be divided. And of course you could relate it to, by transformation, to the word atom. Okay? Because, atoms are consisting of electrons, protons, neutrons, and everything. But still, we want the particle that's not divisible. The Anu. So the Bhagavatam 5,000 years ago was already speaking of the science of the Anu. Now, the Anu is without limits. There's no limitation of time and space. In other words, it's spread out everywhere. And even though I'm not able to recognize it, it is still spread out everywhere. The Anu. So, now, if it's spread out everywhere, that would be Brahman realization. And we know that Krishna has Leelas. My soul wouldn't be existing just to be in some energy. It doesn't have any logic to it. I certainly wouldn't like it. Just to be an energy. So, just to get a little glimpse. It's difficult for Maitreya to describe to Vidura where the division came out. So he's trying to do that. So here he's trying to, how we came here in this world. I'll just take this and show my face so you can see. Yeah, okay, I'm the one who's speaking this, okay? Just thought I would introduce myself, showing like a rishi. Not a scientist or anything like that, but I'm trying to understand something of eternality, okay? It's always there. It just hides itself. It never goes. So let's go back. So now, how is it that this Anu, it's undivisible, it has nothing that is restricting it. You know, in other words, its size is everything. It encompasses everything. Understand? It encompasses everything. So if it encompasses everything, it has no time and no space controlling it. So that is a somewhat of a description of eternality. But how is this eternality in its origin, not that it manifested after a while, but in its origin, how does it have Leela? Well, what is the best Leela that us human beings like? Sex life. You know? Of course, you know, regulated, but sex life. That was the most attractive Leela. And the drawbacks are the, you know, there's so many drawbacks in that. But, so, that is the highest acquisition that the human wants to have, is some sex life. Just putting it bluntly. You know. So for this to be a fact, it must have originated, because it's so powerful. It didn't originate from me. That's not logical. It's so powerful that this Anu, this one, he's one, and he's spread all over the place. But this Anu, in some way, shape or fashion, became two. We can take this back to studying Murtis. Radha and Krishna, you know, years back, were not seen as different Murtis. They were seen as one Murti, left side being Radha, and the right side being Krishna. So they were united. Okay? So it's still holding the fact of Anu. Okay? So the exchange, the back and forth exchange here, is prem, love. Right? I'm trying to write at a bad angle, but there it is, prem. This is what is the connector. But to have prem, there must be some difference. There has to be a difference to have prem. It's not that prem all of a sudden became to exist, you know, like Darwin would say, you know, the evolution. No, there's no evolution here. It's always there. Prem is always there. It's eternal. Okay, so this prem is there. So to assist in the prem, if this prem wants to expand into so many different realms, so many different levels, as in the Ujjvala Nilamani described, then there must be participants in this prem. There's a must. Okay, I put that too high. Okay, there's the prem, there's the two. Okay, I'll just hold this. My little guy is old, and he wants to stoop over. Okay, so now, how is it that this area of no space and no time all of a sudden consists of space and time? But now, it doesn't ever change for their relationship. Although they're manifesting in separate forms and so many types of leelas and everything, It never changes for them. So, the ingredient that caused it's the causation. The causation is that some type of lust, desire for something, manifested within me. Now, if they are the main factor, they are the central factor, and where was my lust directed to? Of course, you've got it. My desire for love, lust, must separate them. It must. Because I want to enjoy what is being enjoyed. My lust is not in service or support of their prem, but it is desirous of the prem between them. That's all there is. So what happens at this moment? Krishna is forced, I could say forced, because it has to be some logic to it. He's forced, okay, you are an independent living entity, and I don't want to destroy your independency. He never destroys the independency of the living entity. So I will accommodate your thoughts, but it's not going to be a reality. It's going to be a reflection. I can't accommodate your lusty thoughts within this realm of mine. And all the other living entities they're serving, and the service is so wonderful, and they're feeling the prem of both. Okay? Now let me accommodate this. So what we'll do is we'll take these two and we are going to separate them. And they're separated. They intentionally separate, but when they separate, they cause. They're the causation of time. Because when you existed, you did not have this lust. It manifested after. So the causation of time. And this is the causation of space. Yes. My wanting to fuck the internal energy of the Lord. Sorry for my words, but it's sometimes a good word like that brings attention. Yeah. So, my wanting to fuck the internal energy of the Lord on his left side, and my independency that he is not going to step on. He will not step on my independency. So let me make a world where you can exist in that way. So, if you look here, this is very important. This is binary. The creation is binary. Okay. It is binary. The creation is binary. It is not decimal. This is an important, incredibly important part. Decimal would mean 1 Okay? Binary is life. Binary is Prem. Even though the super soul manifests within my heart, I know the left side of the super soul is his Shakti, internal energy. So it's always binary. Always binary. Never decimal. Where the one and then the point ones and everything and the and all the other descriptions that you got in the decimal system. Okay? So now, being that a fact, whether you like it or not, no. You know, think about it. Don't just go along with me. Okay, so now there's one. But in the Bhagavatam, the illusion, because the one really can't exist alone. It can't. It just can't. So what it does, it pairs. But it gives a distance. A seemingly distance. This distance really doesn't exist. It's a seemingly distance, and this is the creation of illusion. I don't even know how to spell illusion, but hopefully it'll be. This is the creation of illusion. I'm using the blackboard because the whiteboard, those little pencils dry up so quick. So now, this double atom pairs. Okay, let's put the whole thing down here. Okay, we'll get it down here. Okay. We're going to get this. Okay. And it pairs. Now, look at your scene manifesting. This is the star of Lakshmi. Well, the Jews think they stole it. You can't steal something. You can put something into your perspective in an illusion, but you can't steal the reality. But this is the creation of our illusion. There we go. And anybody advanced knows there's hundreds of triangles here. And they're the binary system. So the binary system, the increase, you know, like in other words, from the top down, there's an increase, and from the bottom up, there's an increase. And the one pointing up, we're given a direction. This is the male, and the one pointing down is the female. So now, this has manifested in the material world. It's the same thing, but what is holding it apart is the lust of ours, which is illusory. This, you could say, the middle is clean. Krishnaya, Govindaya, Gopi, Jana, Balavaya, Swaha. Clean, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Gopi, Jana, Balavaya, Swaha. That is keeping it in a spiritual aspect. That is keeping it united. Kleem, I am calling. Kleem is a bead, so it's calling. So I'm sitting in the middle of this. I'm calling. Kleem. And who am I calling? Kleem. Krishnaya. Govindaya. Gopi. Janava. Alavaya. Swaha. So Krishna with his gopis. Of course, you can give a Narayan version of it, or you can give, but we prefer the Kleem Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Lavaya Swaha. But this is the building block of all the material world. Now, even those diverted personalities who have stolen this symbolism, and it's not just one person that has stolen it, because it's so powerful, because it is the manifestation coming down from the binary into the material world, creating the illusion. Oh, what is the illusion? The expansion of my lust. Yes, the expansion of our lust has made that illusion. And that illusion must fall under the time factor. I'm going to put just TF. The time factor. It must fall under the time factor. And, if you will, the space factor. So this situation of my, let's put it this way, I'm here. I'm here, so I know I'm part of this. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm part of this. I'm supporting this, and I'm making Krishna create all this, and I'm making a lot of problems for myself. I'm trying to hold this up because it's just falling down. So I pray that I stop, Krishna, and I stop my lust, and I take my position as helping you and your Prem Ras. And this is why this is just super. I am supposed to be, Radha is here. She's the treasure house. And Krishna's over here. He is the enjoyer. So who is it? Is it just Radha? No. She takes one of us, she gives her love, and we take it over. So now, who can contain the love of Radha and go to Krishna? That's incredible. But that in the spiritual world is happening continuously. Radha is the treasure house, the Ladini Shakti of the Lord. And she is empowering the living entity to do seva. While I'm carrying her love, she may be in an angry mood, but it's loving anger. So it's disturbing to me because it's not able to be understood. But I'm going to tell Mr. Krishna that he's misbehaving. Ujjwala Nilamani also says that Krishna sends the gopi. And she knows that what Krishna is going to do. Oh, this beautiful gopi. Oh, thank you. You know? He's going to interact with her. But that's going to satisfy her that Krishna is actually interacting with me. So in the Madhava Sangeet, Radha is lamenting with anger, and she wants someone to go and bring Krishna to her. She can't live without him. So one gopi, a new gopi, she tells her, why do you want, from what I've heard, this personality, Krishna, treats you so badly, and now look at your suffering. So why would you want me to go and give your message to Krishna? Her message is like we cannot carry it. It's like a very hot prem ball. It's incredibly hot prem ball that would just like explode us to pieces. But she gives it to us in a way that we can carry it. And we take this prem ball and we're taking it over to Krishna. It says she sends a message. But that message sent, we think, oh, it's a written language message and everything. This is our indications, but actually it's a message like in her love. You are carrying her love. You're not carrying a piece of paper or anything like that. You're carrying her love. So as you take this love to Krishna, this gopi in the Madhava Sangeet, she is going to Krishna and she's a little angry and she's walking a little fast. And in the distance she sees Krishna. He's sitting on a stub of a tree and he's drawing little figures with his toes in the ground. That shows shyness. So she's seeing some indication of some shyness. But this guy is puffed up. He thinks he's the greatest guy. And here I'm seeing some shyness. Now, maybe he's just trying to fool me. So then she comes up to Krishna and she sees that he is crying without Radha. Now, this action of Krishna manifesting his desire for seeing Radha is now a written language in the heart of this gopi. She is totally surprised. This is the coming back of the living entity from the material world, and all of a sudden carrying a message to Krishna, the message of anger. So she does give the message to Krishna. She hands it over to him. And of course, he wants to meet Radha. So he tells her where they should meet. So in this exchange, of course, Krishna is looking at the gopi in a very loving way. And Radha knows that's going to happen. But that's all right. Even Rupa Goswami is stating those things. So then, the gopi, this gopi in the Madhava Sangeet, she starts running. First of all, she was coming with hesitation. She didn't even want to see Krishna. She didn't know anything about him. But because she loves Radha, she's going to do this service for her. So she took her time, walking to see Krishna. So at this moment that she's been revealed how Krishna is feeling, she is not walking. She is running. And many times she is running so fast that she falls until she gets back to Radha. And she gives his love to her. Not necessary, but this is our participation. That's our participation. It's not a necessary object. We're not a necessary object. But when our independence, when we give up, no, we don't even give up our independence. It's never being asked by Krishna to give up your independence, but put your independence in service. You know? So in this way, we want to unite them, and that's this. I don't want to separate you anymore. I want to unite you. And I want to do everything in your service so that you're united with her. I don't want to see separation. So, just bringing it back, the illusion, we never, actually the whole thing is an illusory thing. We already have a form. We already have a Leela. Maybe that Leela is with Vishnu. Maybe that Leela is with Krishna. But we already have a Leela. But that Leela has been disturbed by our lust. We want something that we see Krishna has, and we want it for ourselves, not for anybody else. Lust means I want to gratify myself. Prem, right here, I'm doing Prem. In Prem, you want to use everything, all your feelings, to give pleasure to the other. In lust, you are trying to separate the two loving couples. So basically, this is a way that the illusion has been created, and you can't blame anybody else except ourselves for such an illusion. This illusory reaction right here has created the time factor and the space factor. And that's all that exists, time and space. Those are the limitations. Everything else within our existence, you know, our feelings and everything, our heartfelt feelings and everything, they're just misdirected. Within the union, this doesn't exist. The time factor and the space factor doesn't exist. So, now we're going back up. For this to be true, how is it? Because it has to be unlimited with time. It must be unlimited by space. It's not limited by space. It's not limited by time. But I found myself here in the limitations of time and space. How is that possible to be taking place? It's because you've never left. You've created, or you've entered into an illusion. Krishna had to create it. You can say that, and there's so many ways that it's presented, how he divides things to create the illusion. And the big one, I should put it right at the top. The big one is the false ego. That's it. The false ego, misidentification. That is the creator. The creator of the false ego. And this is from Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 11th chapter, the calculation of time and space and the atom. The false ego, and there's another chapter there. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Okay, I can't remember that one. Okay. Oh, fifth chapter. Fifth chapter, let's see. Chapter 5 of the third canto. Chapter 5 of the 28th verse. There we go. 28th verse. The creation of the false ego. The false ego is, of course, not created by me, but it has been called by me. I want something that can cover me. So the false ego is the first creation. The false ego is the misidentity. I'm going to enjoy my lust, and that's it. Nobody's going to stop me. So this false ego has created all this mess that you see.